El Sitio is part of an experimental social housing complex built by renowned architect Christopher Alexander in Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, between 1975 and 1976. Invited by Julio Martinez, then director of the Department of Public Workers of the government of the state of Baja California, to give a presentation in Mexicali about the Center for Environmental Structure, the architect instead proposed carrying out a project to put his theories into practice, which, to his surprise, was approved. With an initial plan of building 30 low-cost houses in the border city of Mexicali, an agreement was reached together with the architecture department of the Universidad Autónoma del Estado de Baja California. From the beginning, it was determined that the architect, along with a team of collaborators, and the inhabitants themselves would have absolute freedom to experiment, apportion the lots, design, and build the houses. This meant that tasks that would normally be assigned to different specialists would be taken up by the participants themselves under the concept that Alexander defined as the architect-builder, a way of decentralizing the work and attending to each aspect of construction. An announcement by ISTECALI, a service institute for government workers, invited families who met certain requirements to receive a loan that would help them build their own house. At the time, it was called the Conjunto Orizaba. The announcement stated that each family would engage in a self-construction process while receiving advice from the architects, for which they would need to contribute their personal labor. From the beginning, an area called the Builder's Yard, a place Alexander considered fundamental for any type of construction, was defined. The Builder's Yard is where construction experiments could be conducted to scale, where building prototypes, materials, and equipment were kept, and also where pattern languages could be tested. However, the aim of this space is that it functions as an anchor for the community. In the Mexicali project, this space was, and is still known as El Sitio. Starting from two specific pattern languages, Common Land and House Cluster, the project began with meetings and discussions between the architects and representatives of each family on the physical plot of land. Reaching consensus, they decided the best place to position the houses according to the desired level of privacy and defined the common areas. Using the principles of the timeless way of building, each family designed the interior space of their house according to their needs, a fundamental principle for making houses human with their own character. In Alexander's words, a house is an organic system, like a living creature. Its fabric cannot be properly adapted to its needs and functions unless the process of adapting goes all the way down to the small details. The book The Production of Houses describes in detail each of the operations carried out to build the houses in Mexicali, from excavation, leveling the land, the location of pipes and cost control, to the innovative methods that were used to build the houses. Additionally, it also describes the construction blocks that were made of local soil and cement, and that were mass-produced using an innovative Italian Rosa Cometa machine to interconnect them. The vaulted roofs were woven with wooden strips in the form of a basket and covered with chicken mesh and concrete. The book also has a chapter dedicated to the human process, which describes the rhythm, spirit, humor, and emotion that formed a crucial part of the construction. In contrast to the factory environment in which most construction takes place, Alexander narrated fragments of the experience in his diary, in which he talks about family coexistence, mutual aid, and the small celebrations held at the end of the day. The 5 houses were finished in 1976, and since the government considered the process very slow, and the house's appearance handcrafted and not new, the authorities decided to abandon the project. Over time, the families subdivided the lots to have more privacy, for security, and due to communal arguments about water and services. El Sitio is currently under the auspices of the Universidad Autónoma del Estado de Baja California and is a treatment center for the nursing faculty where they offer disease detection services and share family planning methods. The Mexicali experimental project, one of many that Alexander carried out, put the human point of view, collective organization, and the vernacular in the center of architecture as forms that reshaped challenges of housing and density in urban context. Aware of the many failings and errors of a project that is imagined, designed, and built at the same time, Alexander still thought that building this way is a process that can change the paradigm, seeing the world based on other more human solutions closer to our way of living in an increasingly alienated world.